Soma's ties to public security may lead to his undoing. By seizing the puppet himself, Yagami seeks to pull down the puppet master holding the strings. To do so, he forms a temporary alliance with the fugitive Kuwana. But Soma arrives to carve a bloody path into a hideaway no one should know about. Reiko Kusumoto's betrayal has proven more volatile than anyone could have guessed.
Genda-sensei, they're calling last night's bombing a terrorist attack. The body they recovered was burnt beyond recognition.
That was a Kaike-kun, right? The one Yagami mentioned?
Yes, I believe so. Nothing about Soma or RK in the article either. Could public security be tampering with the press?
I wouldn't give public security that much credit. Besides, if a bomb goes off in a deserted public place, it's only natural for the police to assume it's terrorism.
Right, I guess when you put it that way.
Unfortunately, even if they do identify a Kaike-kun, the ones responsible are Kuwana and Soma, two guys who are totally off the grid. Any investigation would grind to a halt, probably end up as another unsolved mystery.
If the public learned the bombing was tied to Ehara's battery case, jaws would hit the floor.
Yeah. Anyway, where's Yagami? You heard from him since last night?
No, we've been in touch via email though. He's on his way to a hospital now.
Great. What'd he get himself into now?
If he's actually going to the hospital, does that mean it's serious?
Don't worry, he's fine. He's just going to meet with someone about the case.
Who'd want to meet up at a hospital?
Reiko Kusumoto.
"13 years. I still can't believe it. Waking up and finding out you're suddenly 30.
Take your time. You'll adjust eventually.
Work again?
I won't be long. I just need to take a quick meeting. Now put down that mirror already.
Oh.
So, you sold Kuwana out to public security because Mitsuru-kun woke up. Does that about sum it up? You waited 13 years for Mitsuru-kun to wake up. If you turn yourself in now, you'd lose him all over again.
There's that. Yes. Going forward, he needs to stand on his own 2 feet and rebuild his life. It'll take time. And lots of it. There's no real end in sight. He's at a disadvantage as it is. And to brand him the child of a murderer on top of that, I couldn't.
Where are we?
Mitsuru.
Doesn't this change everything? I think you may want to reconsider what you told me, Kusumoto-san. Alone, I'm sure you could have lived with the weight of your choice, but now you have something you'd sacrifice everything to protect. He's so precious, but he's also so fragile he could come crashing down without even a warning. You're going to have to be his shield, Kusumoto-san. We'll do it together. With your cooperation.
I have to do what I can to protect him.
I suppose so, but... You covered up your crimes and it was Sawa-sensei who got caught in the crossfire. On top of that, Akihiro-kun's throat was slit last night. Now he's dead too. Kuwana will be another body for the pile soon. Hell, maybe I'm in trouble myself.
How was he yesterday?
Well, as soon as RK showed up for him, he knew you'd stabbed him in the back. I can't really say how that made him feel. Until now, he'd been adamant about ensuring you stayed out of this. He said no one could blame you for what you did to Shinya Kawai. Kuwana put his life on the line for you. You failed to silence him, and you let him get away. That means whatever happens next, it's his move. And whatever he does to you, none of my business. As for me, I have no evidence on Kawai's murder, so you're off my list too. I only came here today because I wanted to know why you betrayed Kuwana. That's all. I hope Mitsuru-kun has a speedy recovery.
Back already, Yagami-shi. How are you feeling after last night? That shockwave from the blast took you down.
Oh yeah, that was something else, I gotta say.
I bet, tough guy. Kamurocho's finest detective never fails to impress.
Doc, you made it. We've been asking around if anyone's seen Kuwana.
You don't want to know how that went.
No leads, huh?
Pretty much. Doesn't help that RK's crawling all over the place right now. Soon as they spot Kuwana, they're gonna make their move.
Kuwana gave this to me yesterday.
Isn't that Toshiro Ehara? Kuwana-san called you out there just to give you this?
Yep. He told me to give it to Ehara.
What the? Oh man, it looks like it's cracked.
Can you take a look at it, Tsukumo? I get the feeling it's no ordinary pendant.
Certainly.
Not handing it over to Ehara till you know what the deal is?
Well, he won't mind, will he? Besides, I damn near got blown up over that thing.
Speaking of, Yagami-shi, what's the status of Ehara's sexual battery trial?
Saori-san's preparing for the appeal. Still no date, but the courts are working as fast as they can. If they accept the case and it goes to trial, they'll find out about Kuwana one way or another.
And that'd put Reiko Kusumoto in public security in the shithouse, right?
Right. If Kuwana and his murders come to light, anyone connected to Reiko Kusumoto could be suspected as an accomplice. And if that happens, she'd lose any control she had over the pension fund.
Interesting.
Everyone wants their own brand of justice to come out on top. But enough is enough. If we don't handle this, public security will take out Kuwana. And I can't let him die like that.
Then what's your next move?
Gonna head to Ehara's trial and back up Saori-san. Feels like we've come full circle.
I'd argue the opposite, Yagami-shi. The circumstances surrounding the trial are completely different this time around. I can't help but consider how grand a task simply seeking the truth could be.
Seriously. But exposing the truth is the only way to save some and get justice for others. We can't just stay quiet and watch.
Sounds like you're seeing the light. Detective work's not so bad, is it?
Can you guys keep an eye out for Kuwana and Ijincho? I need to go over Ehara's case with Saori-san.
10-4. We'll amp up surveillance.
We're going too, Sukiura. Time to get shit done.
Right on!
Really, guys? Wow, looks like we've got a full house.
Shirosaki-sensei asked me to come by. She said they needed some business handled while you were out of town.
I find it hard to believe she'd put it that way.
Maybe not. Either way, I don't mind helping.
Yagami-san, you're just in time. I think we should conduct another interview with Ehara-san.
Okay, but what will we talk about?
If we want to claim he's innocent of battery, then we need to prove he's the one who murdered Mikoshiba at the same time. But since the murder footage isn't admissible in court, we need something more substantial.
Basically, we need new evidence. And that might mean something no one's seen or found yet.
So your plan is to meet with Ehara and just ask him?
I know it's a long shot, but yes.
I'd like to come help, but someone has to check Higashi-san's work.
Excuse me? If I have to be Hoshino-kun's lackey, I'm fucking out.
I'd prefer if you address me as Hoshino-sensei.
Mouth on this kid.
Ehara only seems to open up to you, Yagami-kun. So, if you talk to him again, do you think we'll find out something new this time?
I'll see what I can get out of him. Having another chat with him couldn't hurt.
Sounds good. Oh, and look after Saori for me, would you?
Sure, but Mafuyu, should you even be here? Won't the prosecution think you're double-crossing them?
What do you mean? I am just here to get dirt on the defense. Expect Prosecutor Takano to hear all about it.
Guess we better watch ourselves.
I still have some preparations to make. Yagami-san, why don't you go kill some time? I'll call you as soon as I'm ready. It shouldn't take long.
Sure thing.
I'm going to try and get in touch with Ehara's wife. Even though they're separated, Ehara may have shared details about Mikoshiba's murder with her. Oh, and Higashi-san will be there to help.
I'll call you once I'm ready. This may be our last meeting with Ehara-san before the appeal. Make it count, Yagami-san.
Ehara's status as either a sex offender or a murderer is the court's focus right now. Opinions split between who thinks the Mikoshiba murder footage is authentic and who doesn't.
Don't forget how much pressure's on Saori right now. Ehara's trial has the police and prosecution on edge, so I'm sure it's a lot for Saori to handle by herself. But I'll do whatever I can on my end.
RK's still raising hell around the city. Bunch of ex-Tojo guys have been especially loud and proud. Just watch your back out there. Not that I don't think you can handle it.
Sorry for keeping you, Yagami-san. We should head to the detention center. Where are you?
In Kamurocho. How about I take a cab and pick you up?
If you please. I'll be waiting.
Isn't that just the worst? So the murder footage can't be used as evidence. I was hoping it'd be played in court for all to see.
Yeah, and if it was, it would prove your innocence and overturn your battery conviction, no problem. But the prosecution flat out refuses to accept you murdered Mikoshiba. There's no room for error. You could flat out confess and they would refuse to accept it.
Excellent. In the end, they'll lock me up for battery, and I'll get away with murder.
Yeah. We know all about what you and Kuwana planned. We just don't have the evidence to prove it.
My condolences.
Which reminds me, you said you'd confess to killing Mikoshiba after you got out of prison, right? Then, as icing on the cake, you'd admit the battery charge was false and humiliate the law for letting a murderer walk free.
Exactly. The public must know that the law can't be trusted. Personally, I hope the media hops all over it.
I bet you do. So when that time comes, you'll need some decisive evidence of the murder so your confession holds water. Maybe you've got something like that in your back pocket already? Because we'd sure look good if we had some new evidence to take into the appeal.
That's why you geniuses came all the way out here. I told you I wouldn't admit to the murder in court. I have no intention of just handing it over.
Handing it over? So you're saying there is still a piece of evidence we don't know about?
What is it, Ehara-san?
Even if there was, you'll never get your hands on it. Didn't mean to get your hopes up.
The murder weapon. Kanagawa PD said the weapon used to kill Mikoshiba still hadn't been found.
Yet it appears in the footage without a doubt as to what it is. A knife. If it wasn't found at the murder scene, it's highly likely the suspect or an accomplice took it with them.
Any normal criminal would have just ditched it somewhere. Except you're anything but normal. You got revenge for your son, and you want to publicly humiliate the law for letting you pull it off.
Your point?
If you were cleared of the battery charges and confessed to Mikoshiba's murder without evidence, no one would buy it. You'd need something convincing. Busting out the weapon no one's found yet would do the trick. That one piece of evidence would flip the whole case on its head.
Well, look at you go. Then tell me, where do you surmise I've hidden this weapon?
Well, right after killing Mikoshiba and Ijincho, you would have had to book it to Ikebukuro Station. You had accomplices with you.
And if that's the case, there would have been plenty of time to hide the weapon.
Yeah, so that's about as far as I've thought this out.
If that's it, then I'm done here.
Kuwana's vanished, Ehara-san. Public security found out about him.
Public security?
Kuwana wanted me to tell you he won't make it to the end of your revenge plan.
So, I'm the last man standing, am I? Well, he's already helped me plenty. I never expected to see him again anyway.
At this point, he won't be able to outrun them. If public security catches him, he'll get much worse than an unfair trial. Burying him will be the least they do.
What do you mean? What's going on?
You remember last time? If you don't recall, I said you'd grab the tiger by the tail.
And your tiger is public security?
Right. And they're out there on the warpath. Everything has to be brought into the light. We need what you did to be exposed. Kuwana can't be saved in any other way. I need your help, Ehara-san.
Then you lose. I'll never admit to killing Hiro Mikoshiba in court. The system can die. It threw Toshiro away, and I won't lift a finger to save it. Kuwana-san knew how this could end. We have our convictions. When this started, we knew it could end up costing our lives.
You knew going in, huh? And that's all? Is that what you tell yourself so you can sleep at night?
Maybe it is.
Yagami-san. Do you remember my original request to look into both Ehara incidents? I asked you to look into the train event, and then I asked you to look into Hiro Mikoshiba's murder. And now, I'm afraid I have to make one more request of you. Do you still carry your defense attorney's lapel pin? Ehara-san's trial. I'd like you to take the floor with me to defend him. It's going to be eventful. I think we should go as a team.
You sure about that? You know, my legal counsel isn't cheap.
I'll let Genda-sensei know about the invoice.
You got it. Count me in. You never know when something like this will happen. Check it out. I always have it on me.
I know that.
Huh? You do?
いらっしゃいませ。ありがとうございます。いらっしゃいませ。ありがとうございました。
いらっしゃいませ。ありがとうございました。
Hello?
Tak, where you at right now?
Just got back to Yokohama, actually. You weren't spying on me, were you?
You just noticed? Everywhere you went, I know about it. And I mean everywhere.
Where are you right now?
Over at the Leomont's place. Hoshino-kun and Higashi are here too.
Oh, right. They mentioned they were going to Yokohama to see Ehara's wife or something.
Make your way over, will you? I need a full report, and I don't want to hear you were slacking.
Well, look at you taking charge. Anything else, boss?
Yeah, don't drag your feet along the way.
What a waste. Looks like the gang's all here.
Everyone but the star of the show.
Now that is next level ass kissing, Hoshino-kun.
A good ass kisser is a good communicator.
Welcome back, Yagami-san.
Grab a seat, Tak. Nice. So you're really gonna stand in court again?
Just to give Saori-san some support.
Ah, I see. Does that mean I don't need to be present for Ehara-san's appeal?
Huh? How would I know? Isn't that more of a Saori-san question?
If Yagami's there, I don't see why you gotta be. You're on thin ice, Hoshino-kun. You still gonna have a job if you're redundant?
I have been plenty useful. At least a little.
Should a lawyer really have to say that? This guy is kind of a rookie, huh?
Ah.
Man, the gangster just put the lawyer on notice.
Well, that's all I got. How about you guys? So where's Kuwana? Any word on where he's hiding?
Yeah, about that. We must have asked everyone in Ijincho, but we got nothing.
RK's out there looking for him too. They seem to think I've still got him under watch.
On the flip side, that means they still haven't found him either.
Well, yes, although that's not much consolation.
You think Kuwana-san's still in one piece after the explosion?
Alive? Yes. Unharmed? I can't say. When I saw him, he was already making plans to disappear. But the real problem is what happens next. Now that he knows Reiko Kusamoto betrayed him, we don't know Kawana's next move.
I'd never let that slide if I were in his shoes. Maybe Kuwana's thinking the same thing, you know? He spent all that time underground brooding and shit. Maybe he's really gonna stick it to Reiko Kusumoto.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Oshino-kun, Higashi, you two met with Ehara's wife?
Yeah, but we didn't gain much from it.
Turns out Ehara and his old lady don't really keep in touch. After her son took his life 4 years back, she refused to keep living under the same roof. Only reason she hasn't divorced him is because it's too much of a pain to process.
She's been living in that same apartment even when Toshiro-kun was still alive. She let us light some incense on his altar, but she was pretty vacant the whole time.
Did Ehara's battery charge come up at all?
She said she didn't care.
She didn't care her husband was out there groping women and killing bullies? Has she even seen Mikoshiba's murder footage?
According to her, no.
Really? That's hard to believe.
Well, there's no easy way to put it, but it felt like she'd given up on everything.
Made for a pretty depressing trip, I'll tell you that.
What's the word on RK coming down to Ijincho?
Everywhere you look, they're strutting around like they own the place. And they know our faces, too. They stare us down, but never get too close. It's fucking annoying.
Plus, they're acting like they're here to stay. They've been harassing the joints we have ties with.
Harassing how?
You know, shit like pretending to be normal customers and dying dashing or complaining to mess with business. Then another guy will come in and be like, need protection? And suddenly they're charging a fee.
That's some Yakuza shit right there.
Old shit, too. The Yakuza who pulls that today is out in one shot under the anti-gang laws.
And Soma? Is he still around town?
Nah, there's nothing on him. Even if he is, he probably went underground by now. And Soma isn't exactly a social butterfly like Akutsu. Finding him's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Especially if he has public security's help. Unless it's a life or death situation, I doubt he'll show his face.
That about wrap it up?
Seems so. As for me, I think I'll head out and see what I can find out about Kuwana-san.
Same. I just hope he's okay.
Tsukumo-san and Sugiura-san do some impressive work.
Yeah. You don't hold a candle to them, Hoshino-kun.
Black belt in karate, and you never even use it.
Well, I'm just more of a behind-the-scenes kind of guy. Anyway, I'm heading back to Kamurocho. Enjoy yourself, Higashi-san.
What about you, Tak? Wanna call it a night? Tesso said he'll let us stay if you do.
No skin off my back, really.
So, what'll it be?
If I can really stay the night, I'll take him up on that.
Yagami, I think I'll stick with Aniki and tag along. Guess that means I'm helping you guys out. Couldn't live with myself if I backed out now with a fish this big on the line.
Get this, Tak. Tesso asked me to fly the drone. Says it's the first time he's seen this place from above.
Seriously, it's pretty legit. I picked one up for myself.
Hey, Yagami-san. You handle everything in Ijincho?
I think so? Nah, I've still got some stuff to do.
Okay, cool. No problem. Hey, Yagami-san. You handle everything in Ijincho? Really? Good, because Tsukumo-kun said he had something he wanted to show you. He's upstairs. You mind going to him? Tsukumo-kun, Yagami-san's here.
Something up?
Yes, it's about the pendant Kuwana-san gave you. Turns out, it was just a decoy after all.
Decoy? For what?
For what was inside. This. The cracks in the pendant were hiding an SD card, and on it was some video data.
Video data? Of what exactly?
It's the footage of Ehara murdering Hiro Mikoshiba, just like we saw before. No additional scenes.
That doesn't make sense. Why would Kuwana put his life on the line just to give me that? I mean, RK came after him and everything. And all for a video that's already all over the internet?
Yes, except the video on that card is the original. All the others were copies of this source. In layman's terms, this is the master tape. Or in film, it'd be the negative. With no additions or modifications of any kind.
What do you mean? And how do you know for sure?
So this SD card here is a special little thing. You can't usually buy it in stores. It's called a worm, or write once, read many. If you were to take a picture with a digital camera, the images saved on this SD card couldn't be edited or deleted. It's what forensics teams use when photographing crime scenes. Which means what we have here is unaltered footage of Mikoshiba's murder.
That means it would qualify as evidence in Ehara's appeal.
Yeah, I'd say you have room to negotiate with the prosecution and the judge. At the very least, it beats an internet copy with no origin.
Hey, think this'll be enough to win the trial?
Well, I can't guarantee that. But it does explain why Kuwana-san took such a risk. The video on here is the sole original. That's why he'd only leave it in the hands of someone he trusted.
Kuwana asked me to give this to Ehara.
Sure, but he had to know we'd turn it inside out first. Maybe it's Kuwana-san's way of entrusting you with the evidence you need? After all, with public security after him, he may not live to see tomorrow. And seeing how he's on the run, he had to find a way to get that into Ehara-san's hands. Which I think is why he left it all up to you, Yagami-shi.
And it's settled. It's about time I expose everyone involved in Mikoshiba's murder. Ehara, Kuwana, and his students. That's the first step to luring public security out in the open.
And I believe the SD card will make that possible.
So hey, looks like almost getting blown up was worth it.
I guess so.
Hey, sorry to bug you.
Matsu? What are you doing here?
I was talking to the MRC guys earlier. They said you'd be at this detective agency.
Everything okay?
Well, Akane started hanging out with some shady guys. So I figured I should talk to Yagami-san about this.
Sounds like a tricky situation. Please, have a seat.
Akane's that girl you hung out with all the time, right? So, want to tell me more about these shady guys?
They're these thugs from Tokyo. RK, they're called. They've been flirting with her.
Okay. What else?
They got her so comfortable she blurted out some stuff she probably shouldn't have. Stuff about you, Yagami-san.
Well, that's nothing I can't handle. But rolling with RK is bad news. She needs to stop. Their leaders are ex-Yakuza, you know.
I knew it. So they actually are dangerous then.
What's really going on?
They asked Akane which student you cared about the most.
What?
So she... kinda blurted out Koda's name.
She did what?
Yeah, even Akane knew she messed up. So she called me right after. Yagami-san, you've been mixed up with RK, right? You think they might go after Koda?
Can you try to get in touch with her?
Actually, I haven't been able to.
What about Akane?
Oh, right. Let me try and call.
Hello, Matsun?
Akane, where are you right now?
The last place Mikoshiba-sensei was.
Huh?
I'm with RK. We're at the building where Mikoshiba-sensei's body was found.
Why?
Matsun, are you with Yagami already?
How do you know about that?
It's Yagami. Is Koda-san there too?
She is. Yagami-san! It's me, Koda! Please, help me!
Is Yagami? Come on over and we'll play. You know the place, right?
Who is this?
Not important. Better hurry, or else Kodo-chan will have to entertain us. Know what I mean?
Hey! Stop it! No!
Don't! What the hell do you want?
Come down and find out. Oh, I'm sure this goes without saying, but if you go to the cops, these girls are as good as dead.
Do you guys even understand what you're doing right now?
Better hurry.
What's happening?
Matsun, you stay here. Tsukumo!
I'll contact Kaito-san and Higashi-san for help. And I'll fly my drone out to the scene, too.
Perfect. I'm counting on you.
Let's go, Yagami-san. Hurry up, or I'm leaving without you.